The underestimated world. The curved viewport of the Galactic Federation's council chamber offered a spectacular view of the spiral arm, but none of the 12 representatives paid it any attention. Their focus remained fixed on the holographic display hovering above the obsidian table, a small blue-green planet rotating slowly in simulated space. Earth, announced High Counselor Vexar, his silver-scaled hands gesturing dismissively. A mid-development world on the outer rim, barely achieved lunar landing capability, still burning chemical fuels for propulsion. His 4 violet eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of amusement among the Draconians. They've spent more time perfecting their entertainment technologies than achieving practical space travel. Representative Mira of the Ceteri clicked her mandibles in agreement. Their communications are primitive and unshielded. We've been monitoring them for decades. They fight wars over resources that could be synthesized with basic molecular restructuring technology. Hardly worth our attention. In the corner of the chamber, science attaché Krex watched quietly. Unlike the others, he had studied Earth with unusual attention over the past 15 years. Perhaps we should not be so quick to dismiss them, he suggested, his voice soft but carrying across the silence. Their developmental patterns are unusual. The chamber filled with polite laughter. Unusual. Yes, unusually slow, retorted Representative Jawl, the gelatinous Morbidian vibrating with amusement. They had fission technology for over a century and still haven't developed proper fusion drives. Vexar raised a scaled hand for silence. The survey is clear. Earth possesses valuable heavy metals and biological resources. The Federation Mining Guild has requested permission to establish extraction operations in their system. Given their technological status, they won't even detect our presence if we maintain standard stealth protocols. And if they do? Krex asked. Then we explain ourselves as advanced beings offering guidance, Vexar replied smoothly. It has worked with 17 other developing worlds. The humans will be suitably awed by our technology. The motion passed with 11 votes in favor. Only Krex abstained, his unease growing as the council moved on to other matters. Deep beneath the Olympus Mons caldera on Mars, Commander Elena Reyes stood before the massive viewscreen, her dark eyes reflecting the tactical display of the solar system. The newly detected Federation ships appeared as red markers approaching Neptune's orbit. Right on schedule, she murmured, brushing a strand of gray-streaked black hair from her face, just as the Cetari transmission indicated. Admiral Jackson stepped beside her, his weathered face grim. They really have no idea, do they? Elena's lips curved into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. 80 years of careful deception tends to be effective. Admiral, while they watched our rockets and shuttles, they never bothered to look for what we weren't showing them. The chamber around them hummed with activity as hundreds of operators monitored systems throughout Sol space. None of the workstations used touchscreens or physical interfaces. Operators interacted with their systems through neural interfaces, technology the Federation believed was centuries beyond human capability. Status of the fleet? Elena asked. The holographic avatar of Aurora, Earth's quantum intelligence system, materialized beside them. Taking the form of a translucent woman composed of shifting light patterns, she spoke in a melodious voice. Helios Battle Group is at full readiness, Commander. All 27 vessels maintaining position in the Sun's corona, shielded from detection. Selene Defensive Array is powered and calibrated. The Ares Tactical Fleet is prepared for emergence from Deimos Hangar on your command. Elena nodded. And Project Prometheus. Final integration complete. Aurora confirmed. All tests indicate full functionality. Admiral Jackson frowned. We're really going to use it. The Council approved deployment. Only as a demonstration, Elena assured him. If they respond reasonably, no one gets hurt. She turned to face the vast command center. This was always inevitable, Admiral. Humanity couldn't hide forever, nor should we. It's time the galaxy understood exactly what they've been dismissing. Captain Thrax of the Federation mining vessel Resource Seeker prided himself on efficiency. His ship led 4 others into the inner solar system, their advanced drives allowing them to cross vast distances without detection by primitive sensors. His mission was simple: establish initial mining outposts in the asteroid belt and the Martian surface, away from human observation. Maintaining stealth protocols. Captain, his navigation officer reported. Earth detection systems show no awareness of our presence. Excellent, Thrax replied, his tentacles manipulating the control interface. Begin survey pattern Alpha. I want preliminary mining sites identified within 1 planetary rotation. The sensor officer suddenly stiffened, her crystalline body emitting a startled glow. Captain, detecting energy surge from Mars. Impossible readings. Explain, Thrax demanded. Sir, the energy signature matches nothing in our database. It's as if the entire southern hemisphere of Mars just woke up. Before Thrax could respond, the ship's communication system activated without command. A human female appeared on the main view screen, wearing a dark uniform with unfamiliar insignia. Federation Vessel Resource Seeker, this is Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space without authorization. Power down your engines and prepare for escort. Thrax's tentacles writhed in confusion. This is impossible. Humans don't have detection capability beyond their moon, let alone interplanetary communication technology of this clarity. Your stealth systems were designed to evade radio and infrared detection, Captain Thrax, Elena continued, causing further shock by identifying him personally. We haven't relied on those technologies for monitoring our system in over 60 years. How do you know my? Elena cut him off with a raised hand. We've been intercepting and decoding Federation communications since your scout ship passed through our Kuiper belt in 2141. We know exactly who you are and why you're here. Even if that were true, Thrax regained his composure. You have no capacity to enforce any demands. Your species has barely achieved basic spaceflight. Elena's smile was cold. Perhaps you should look around you, Captain. The sensor officer gasped. Captain, multiple structures emerging from the Martian surface. Energy signatures activating throughout the system. Detecting artificial signatures within the solar corona. Impossible. On the view screen, Elena nodded. The Federation has made a significant miscalculation regarding Earth, Captain. I suggest you power down your drives immediately and prepare to be boarded. Any hostile action will be met with appropriate response. The sensor display transformed as dozens of markers appeared around the Federation ships, vessels emerging from Mars, from behind Earth's moon, and most shockingly, from within the sun itself, somehow shielded from the stellar furnace. Impossible, Thrax whispered. Your species couldn't have. But we did, Elena said simply. Now your decision, Captain. Compliance or demonstration. As Thrax stared at the screen, the truth became undeniable. The Federation had catastrophically underestimated humanity, and he was about to discover precisely how badly. The mineral analysis officer's voice was barely audible. Captain, I'm detecting energy weapons powered and locked on our position from multiple vectors. Their technology, it's beyond our current capabilities. For the first time in his distinguished career, Captain Thrax felt the cold grip of miscalculation. With slow, deliberate movements, he entered the shutdown sequence. Powering down as requested, Commander Reyes, he said, his voice carefully controlled. Though I must register my protest at this violation of Galactic Federation exploration rights. Elena's expression remained unchanged. Your protest is noted, Captain. However, I should point out that one cannot violate the rights of parties who have not established formal diplomatic relations. As far as Earth is concerned, you are unauthorized intruders. The silence on the bridge was profound as the implications settled over the Federation crew. They hadn't come to make first contact with a primitive species. They had accidentally revealed themselves to a technological power that had been watching from the shadows, waiting and preparing. And now, the reckoning had begun. Part 2. The Revelation. Federation High Council emergency sessions were exceedingly rare. In the 3,000-year history of the interstellar government, only 17 had been called. The 18th occurred precisely 6 hours after Captain Thrax's mining fleet was surrounded by vessels that, according to all Federation understanding, could not exist. High Counselor Vexer's scales had dulled from their usual lustrous silver to a flat gray, a physiological indicator of extreme stress among Draconians. The massive chamber that typically hosted representatives from 86 worlds now contained only the 12 High Counselors and their essential staff. "The data is verified," announced Director Selvis of Federation Intelligence, his holographic form projected from 12 light-years away. "The humans have achieved technological capabilities that rival or exceed our own in several domains. Most concerning is the method they use to hide their development." Science Attaché Krex stepped forward, vindicated but somber. "I have been attempting to warn this council for years. The humans display developmental patterns unlike any species we've encountered. They advance asymmetrically, appearing primitive in some areas while making extraordinary leaps in others." Vexer's tail lashed against the floor. "How did we miss this? We've been monitoring their communications for decades." "Because they wanted us to miss it," Krex replied simply. "They detected our observation and created a deliberate facade. The transmissions we intercepted were meant to be caught, a carefully crafted image of a struggling, divided species. Meanwhile, they unified in secret and developed technologies specifically designed to counter ours. The strategic implications hung heavy in the air." "How many ships do they have?" asked Representative Mira. "Unknown," Selvis admitted. "Our initial estimates suggest a minimum of 100 capital vessels, but their ability to conceal infrastructure means there could be far more. The most concerning aspect is their propulsion and energy technology. They've developed stellar harvesting capabilities, we believe theoretically impossible." Vexer's 4 eyes narrowed. "Recommendations: immediate diplomatic engagement," Krex said firmly. "Not from a position of superiority, but as equals. They've been studying us for decades. They know our strengths and weaknesses. Attempted intimidation would be disastrous." The diplomatic vessel Concord entered Earth orbit under escort from 6 human ships. Ambassador Lorian, chosen for his extensive experience with first contact scenarios, watched through the viewport as the blue planet grew larger. "Beautiful world," he commented to his aides. "Remarkable biodiversity." The human escort vessels, sleek, midnight black craft with no visible external features, maintained precise formation around the Concorde. Their design philosophy was unlike anything in Federation archives, favoring function over the ornate aesthetics common to most spacefaring cultures. "Ambassador, we're receiving coordinates for docking," his communications officer reported. "They're directing us to—" "That can't be right." Lorian moved to the console. "What is it?" "The coordinates indicate a position near their sun." "But that's—" The bridge fell silent as the main viewscreen activated, showing an enormous structure orbiting at an impossible distance from the solar surface. A perfect ring, hundreds of kilometers in diameter, it gleamed with the unmistakable sheen of advanced alloys. "Federation Vessel Concord, this is Solar Platform Helios. You are cleared for approach and docking at Bay 12. Follow the transmitted vector precisely." As the Concorde adjusted course, sensor readings confirmed what seemed impossible. The humans had constructed a permanent installation less than 2 million kilometers from their star's surface, protected by shielding technology that surpassed the Federation's best theoretical models. Commander Elena Reyes waited in the observation dome as the Federation diplomatic vessel completed its docking procedures. Beside her stood Dr. Marcus Chen, Earth's leading xenobiologist, and General Santos of the United Earth Defense Council. "They're terrified," Marcus observed, reviewing the biometric data from the Federation ship. "Their cardiovascular and respiratory patterns show classic stress markers across multiple species types." Elena nodded. "Good. Fear breeds respect, at least initially. But we need cooperation, not subjugation. That's where you come in, Doctor. The airlock cycled, and Ambassador Lorien entered with his delegation. The tall, willowy alien moved with the fluid grace characteristic of his species, but Elena noted the subtle signs of tension in his posture. Ambassador Lorien, she greeted, stepping forward. Welcome to Helios Station. The ambassador's large, opalescent eyes widened slightly as he took in the vast dome with its unfiltered view of the sun's surface, held at bay by technologies his people had deemed theoretical. Commander Reyes, he responded, his translator rendering his harmonic speech patterns into crisp English. I bring greetings from the Galactic Federation Council. We apologize for the unfortunate circumstances of our first official contact. Elena gestured toward the conference area. Let's discuss those circumstances, shall we? As they seated themselves at the circular table, Elena noted with satisfaction how the Federation representatives couldn't help but stare at the solar prominences visible through the transparent ceiling, a deliberate choice to emphasize humanity's technological achievements. Your mining expedition was not your first visit to our system. Elena began without preamble. We detected your observation vessels 83 years ago. We've been monitoring your communications, studying your technology, and preparing accordingly. Lorien's expression remained composed, but his secondary breathing frills fluttered. A sign of distress. A remarkable achievement. The Federation has encountered over 300 spacefaring civilizations, yet none have achieved what you have in such isolation. We weren't isolated, Elena corrected. We had access to your entire technological database through your unencrypted transmissions. You provided us with an excellent foundation to build upon and improve. Dr. Chen passed a data tablet to the ambassador. This contains a summary of our capabilities and a proposed framework for diplomatic relations. You'll note that our primary concern is sovereignty. The Federation's history of guiding developing worlds is well documented in your own archives. Lorien reviewed the information, his expression growing increasingly troubled. This weapons system, Project Prometheus, it can't possibly. It does exactly what the specifications indicate, General Santos confirmed. A targeted disruption of the artificial quantum fields generated by your drive systems. One deployment would render every Federation vessel within 5 light-years inoperable without harming organic life. That's impossible, one of Lorien's aides protested. Such technology would require understanding of 11-dimensional space-time manipulations. Elena finished for him. Yes, we completed that theoretical framework 60 years ago. Your people are still working with 9-dimensional models, I believe. The revelation settled heavily on the Federation delegation. They hadn't just underestimated human technology, they had fundamentally misjudged human potential. What do you want? Lorien asked finally. Recognition, respect, and reparations for the 18 worlds the Federation has subjugated under the guise of developmental guidance, Elena stated firmly. Earth has no interest in war, Ambassador, but neither will we allow ourselves or others to be exploited. 3 standard months later, High Counselor Vexer signed the Treaty of Sol, establishing Earth as a full voting member of the Galactic Federation, with autonomous protection rights over 17 previously guided worlds. The diplomatic compromise averted open conflict, but fundamentally altered the power structure that had dominated galactic politics for millennia. In the newly constructed Earth Embassy on the Federation capital world, Elena met with science attaché Krex, who had risked his career to advocate for taking humans seriously. You knew, didn't you? She asked as they watched ships from a dozen worlds navigate the busy orbital lanes. You suspected we were hiding our true capabilities. Krex's mouth tentacles curved in what Elena had learned was a smile. I observed patterns. Your entertainment transmissions contain theoretical concepts far beyond your supposed technological level. Your military conflicts showed restraint inconsistent with truly divided factions, small inconsistencies that my colleagues dismissed. Elena nodded. Perception blindness. You see what you expect to see. A failing common to all sentient species, Krex acknowledged. though perhaps less so among humans. Your adaptive capacity is unprecedented. Outside the viewport, a human vessel moved into orbit, the UES Discovery, Earth's first official diplomatic carrier. Unlike the battle vessels that had revealed humanity's true power, this ship gleamed with silver and blue markings, a symbol of humanity's new role in galactic affairs. They still underestimate us, Alina observed quietly. Yes, Krex agreed, but they will learn. The question that occupies my thoughts, Commander Reyes, is what humanity will teach us next. Alina watched as the stars brightened against the darkening sky, each one a potential frontier for a species that had hidden in plain sight for nearly a century, preparing for this moment. That, she said, will depend entirely on what lessons the galaxy is ready to learn. The Federation had laughed at Earth once. Now they watched with wary respect as humanity took its place among the stars, not as supplicants or students, but as teachers and protectors in a galaxy it would never underestimate them again.